Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Google Hangout. It's Glenn Dietzel here, live from our international office in Canada. Of course, I've got my coffee today, my Starbucks coffee. Remember, one of the agreements that if you're going to attend our Google Hangout, you've got to have coffee. We'll accept tea, or we'll even accept water. And I think Nancy has brought water today. You're going to really like our guest. Why? Because she's got of the many clients that we attract. She's got big dreams. She's been able to create some pretty significant traction in the marketplace today. And I want to talk to Nancy about the importance of stepping out of your comfort zone, making an investment in yourself. And so many people today, I just got done speaking at one of my own clients' events, Ted McGrath, and in San Diego last week. And a lot of people coming up to us. Probably one of the biggest demands on my company's time right now is teaching people how to organize their thinking in terms of their own certification and their co-branding program. And it's a great idea. Why? Because not only do you learn how to build cash flow, you learn how to build passive residual income, but most importantly, you start understanding the importance of creating cash flow from a valuation standpoint, like building something. The whole purpose of building a company is so that you can sell your company. Understand that, all right? You're not just in business to make money. You're in business for much more than that. What it's going to do for you, allow you to build, your not-for-profit like we have, giving back to our local community, to camp work, which I love, and my heart's there. I grew up going to camps. But more importantly, to sell my company at one point in time. Now, the cool thing about creating a certification program is that it allows you to start denominating your value in critical areas that we teach our clients, so that you might want to sell a portion of that, or you might want to allow your own coaches and trainers in your industry and your own clients to co-brand with you, so that you are in essence creating thousands of mini-me's. Literally, it's just like putting yourself through a facsimile, faxing yourself into multiple markets and allowing others to co-brand with you. So it's a really cool way, highly strategic. And remember, we talked about the importance of building an intelligent business so you can act smarter in the marketplace today. So in terms of acting smarter, it's my privilege to bring on Nancy Matthews. Nancy is an amazing woman. We attract some very wonderful people in our program, and one of the things I can see, and just already getting to know Nancy and having met her kind of in our green room, if you will, before this Google Hangout, my wife will say this, and so will my kids, that they've met a lot of my clients, the ones that are either flown into the Canadian Lake home, or when we travel, we get a chance to meet a lot of our clients. A lot want to take me out to eat or out for coffee because they know I like Starbucks, and but we attract just amazing people. And as you meet Nancy today, suppose you had a more intelligent business model that allowed you to attract the kinds of Nancy Matthews in the world. And we all think, we're going to see Nancy today and we think, oh, I know why she's so successful. Just look at her. Look at how she talks and all this kind of stuff. But behind it all of us have our own fears. I have my own fears of growing our company and continuing to grow and accelerate. And we all need mentoring. We all need to push somebody to take a look at what we're doing and help us reformulate what we're doing, because none of us are as good as a strategic team around you. So I want to talk to Nancy a little bit about that, the strategic team that she's had around her, what that's meant for her. What I like about Nancy is she wasn't so, she wasn't ashamed to invest in coaching. And some people, think that's like, Glenn, if you work with me, I can't, I don't want you telling people. Like, I've got a lot of clients in the years, and still to this day, they want an NDA. They don't want people to know that I'm working with them. And the whole point of the advisory age is that you need to be able to leverage yourself so people can live vicariously, not just through Glenn Dietzel, but they can live vicariously through Nancy Matthews and through Luke Charlton, whom I just interviewed on our Google Hangout, or Brian Duvall, or Susan Cox, or some of the clients that you've had an opportunity to meet just recently in our program. So without further ado, I want to introduce Nancy Matthews. Nancy has got a really cool business model. And so, Nancy, why don't you first of all let everybody know a little bit about yourself, maybe just a 30-second Cliff Notes version, if people
Okay.
even read Cliff Notes anymore. And they did when I was a kid. And
No, we got
that's how
now
I
we
got
have
through Shakespeare.
Wikipedia. Yeah, now we
And
have the Wikipedia version.
that's right, the Wikipedia version, exactly. So I got to get up with the times here. Um, and so we'll get the quickie, the quick WikiLeaks version of Nancy Matthews, and then what I want to do is I want to go back into where you were before you hired out our company, and I want everybody to understand that Nancy is a real person, just like I am, and we might have this facade of success, which we all do in our own right. But what I want you to say is facade. It's not just what you see. It's who we are as people. That's what's mattered. Most people today that trying to promote success have this kind of facade, and there's no real integrity with who they are. And that's why I like Google Hangouts, because you get a chance to meet me, you get a chance to meet my clients, and you understand that there's more than just what you see. There's something deeper and much more meaningful, and these are people that we attract who are really thinking highly strategically about their business, and few people are doing that. They're following so many gurus today that it's a wonder that they're even still trying to build a company, because when you're following so many people today and there's so much information available, it leads to people just totally unfocused and a lack of ability to execute. So Nancy, give us the WikiLeaks version of Nancy Matthews, and then we'll move forward here in our next within the 30 minutes that we've allocated here for our Google Hangout together.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, this is my very first Google Hangout, so thank you for getting me on board with the new technology. And Nancy Matthews, I live in South Florida. I have 2 children and 2 grandchildren, and I have the pleasure of being in business with my 2 sisters, Trish Carr and Susan Winter. And 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, we created Women's Prosperity Network as a forum and an opportunity and community for women to come together and mastermind and grow so that they could live their full potential. And in addition to that, I do speaking and coaching and mentoring, and I'm very blessed and very grateful that for many things, one of which was how I ended up finding you, Glenn. It was basically an email advertised through a webinar about your certification program, your Royalty Riches. And I responded to the email and showed up on the webinar and just felt your authenticity, felt your integrity. And this was, I wanted to grow my business to the next level. And I knew that here's the thing I know. Anytime you want to go somewhere that you haven't yet been, get someone who's been there and have them guide you and lead the way. So that's how we came together, and I'm so glad we did. It's been a phenomenal journey. I think we're only working together 3 months. I think I started back in April.
Yeah, you know what, and you raise something that I want to point out to everybody. One of the commonalities, I think, with all of our clients, Nancy, you do presentations on the stage, and you're very much a people person, and I think all of us can see that. You can feel the energy that you exude. Some of our clients maybe don't want it that kind of public life, if you will, but there's something very powerful about learning how to speak, and I want all of you to understand this, and I'm going to talk to Nancy about that today, about getting the confidence to say what it is that you do. And maybe, I'd like Nancy to reflect on what she's learned about what she really does based on what we've assisted her with. And then I want to talk about closing deals, because Nancy had a really big day a couple of weeks ago, changed her confidence level, as you're going to see, and changes my confidence level too. I'm a human being. I live for the testimonials and social proof of my clients. And if you've been following us for any length of time, you know that we've got thousands of testimonials. You know that in our book, Author and Get Rich, first 20 pages are testimonials. Alex Mendozian, who is a thought leader in his own right, he'll tell everybody on the top of any mountain worldwide that nobody has more video case studies than Glenn Dietzel. And this is why you need to learn how to speak. Even if it's just learning how to present your ideas on a Google Hangout, like I'm doing right now, in the moment with you, and so is Nancy. We don't have anything scripted out here, and it's just learning how to convey what you do in a way of authenticity and in a way that's fully, it's like a full disclosure. Here I am, here's all my imperfections, of who I am. Nancy as well, if she's a beautiful woman, And congratulations on Nancy on having a team around you. You know, we all need a team. We all need a mastermind group. We all need mentors and coaches to grow where we want to grow. And yeah, I've believed from day one that you need mentors, and it's never, you know, my first year in business, I invested $55,000 in coaching, and that was more than, well, roughly about what I was making as a vice principal grossing. You know, I invested that in business because I just realized if you want to grow and you want to do something that's totally different than what you're doing, you need mentorship. After all, you know, I spent 9 years of post-secondary education. I don't even know what the ultimate bill was. You know, I'm paying, you know, university institutions for post-secondary education. Why aren't we investing in our own future when it's us? And you know, you don't want to make the kinds of mistakes. And so mentoring and modeling is so crucial. So Nancy, let's go back to, you know, where you were before you started investing. Where were you stuck? So everybody sees you as a real person. Because as I said, you know, when we're successful, you know, people tend to see us, they think, oh, Nancy could, oh, of course Nancy could have done that, closed 4 deals at $15,000. Of course Glenn could close $100,000 and attract clients like Nancy or Ted or, you know, Joy Pecchia and those kinds of clients. I want you to understand that we're just real people. We're normal people, but we have something that other people don't have. And that's the willpower to step out of our comfort zone and do something that we haven't done before. So, Nancy, talk to us about where you were before you invested in coaching.
Okay. So before I invested in coaching with you, I knew that I wanted to grow my business to the next level and have larger packages that also allowed me to use more team to deliver some of the services.
Right.
And prior to working with you and your team and my coach Mark, that's through your organization, the most I had sold in coaching packages was generally around $2,500. I did a couple around $5,000, but no, you know, right around that $2,500 mark is where I was at. And I wanted to make that leap. I knew that I had the value. Actually, let me take that back. I wasn't sure I had the value.
Yeah.
There was a piece of me that said, you can do this, and then that scared little girl showed up every now and then. Are you sure you're good enough, really, to sell a $15,000 program? And what working with you allowed me to do was to really, number one, feel comfortable and recognize my value. So through the coaching packages, the coaching sessions that I had both with you and with Mark, it was validating who I knew I really was. And isn't it interesting, we need to hear that from the outside at times to really take it to the next level. The other piece of it is in our sessions, having me recognize the huge value that I was already delivering and truly not getting paid enough for it. So the positioning, realizing the value, how you took a look at everything I was offering for my clients to show me the way to package it all together so that it was adding extra value to the clients and then bringing value back to me. One of the things that you said in the intro part that I really want to speak to is you said some people don't want you to want their clients to know that they're coaching with you.
Right.
I firmly believe, and I'm proud of the fact that I have you as a coach and that I have coaches in my life, because if I'm selling coaching, I better be a product of the product. Always going and growing to that next level, and I'm proud of it.
Let's talk a little bit about the importance of developing confidence by doing, not just by thinking, but by doing. What are some of the things that you do differently today than before, you know, hiring us out, that have led to the kind of just this new level of confidence that you have, Nancy?
Great question. So one of the things that I did when I first hired you is I set a goal, and I had this event coming up. I believe it was 2 months after we started working together. So I said, I want to be able to sell my $15,000 programs in 2 months. So I was making a leap from $2,500 up to $15,000. And in order to build the confidence to do that on a daily basis, what I looked for, and actually I create vision statements. I'm a big big believer in vision statements. So I created a vision statement of myself offering this program to people and them loving the way we put it together and seeing the value and basically salivating to want to have it so that they would find a way to afford it and invest in it for themselves. So it was a daily process of moving my comfort level and confidence level through creating a vision statement, of seeing how happy my clients were once they got this program.
Take us through, as you analyze this, and take a look at, the new clients that you have at 15 grand. What would you say would be the difference between the clients that have invested 15 grand versus the clients that have invested, at 2,500?
I would say the difference is it's not about the money. It's about what the $15,000 program represents to them, which is them taking their lives to the next level and having a plan and a partner to bring them along in the process.
That's great. And if you want to become more influential, everybody, you've got to know how to structure. You need to know how to package, present, and profit from your advice. Now, Nancy, what's kind of really cool about what you do is you're totally out there. I mean, you're on stage. You close these programs on stage. Probably, one of the toughest things to do. But also, when you've got the confidence, it becomes a lot easier to leverage two laws that all of our listeners probably know, and if they don't know, you probably want to write these down. I'm not taking any notes today or showing up our notes, but you want to write down Milgram's Law, M-I-L-G-R-A-M-S, Milgram's Law. The marketplace blindly believes the words of an expert. Now, so in other words, what do you want to do? You want to make it easier for people to believe what it is that you do. Now, Nancy's done something, and that's she gets on stage. Because it's really easy. If you're standing in front of a crowd, it's easier for people to subconsciously believe you're an expert. If you get in front of television, if you're on Oprah, or you're on Dr. Phil, or you're on, Dr. Oz, or, any of the shows, but you get on those, or Fox News, or whatever. You get on those shows, people don't question your authority and your credibility. It's already there. It's great leverage for yourself. Nancy, talk to us about developing the confidence to get in front of an audience. What's your background in that? What are 2 or 3 steps of faith that you had to? Because at the end of the day, we've all got to take a step of faith, right?
Yes.
And what were 2 or 3 of those steps of faith that you said, you know what? I want to get in front of crowds. I want to get in front of an audience, and then I want to talk about how to package, present, and profit, and ask you a couple of questions in that area.
Okay, so my background is from the legal community. I was a paralegal, and then I owned my own title company, and I was doing real estate investing and having great success. And people wanted me to share how I was doing what I did. So I started doing seminars based upon my technical knowledge around buying and selling real estate. And I got to tell you, Glenn, I sucked when I got started. I was terrible.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I didn't go to law school is I was afraid to have to get up and stand in front of the jury. So I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I mean, I was terrified to be out there. And one of the biggest turning points that helped me shift from being nervous and scared and wondering what I'm going to look like was I learned that it's not about me, it's about the audience. So every time I show up for a presentation, being here on this Google Hangout, my goal is to deliver value